way. Tough time slot here with the draft, and then Dante Barti. So I'm trying to get on base, and then old Dante hit me home. Let me share my screen real quick. So we're talk a little deep post crosser game. Okay, I have a couple different sets. Can you see that?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, good deal. So this is we had our spring game last week. Okay, so this is my 6th year in the offense, right? So I'm 28. I had 2 years at St. Vincent State as a student assistant, 1 year at Ole Miss, and 3 years here as an analyst. So I'm kind of riding the Phil Longo coattails, if you will, a little bit. But so I'm gonna talk about the single post, the deep post climb route to start us off, and like a systematic way of teaching this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the big post to start off. Okay, so the first thing you talk about is this is not a formation dependent play. Okay, so we're talking about we're the twins and we're the single. So to start off, we talk about the single big post with a climb coming to it. Okay, so we're the twins, where's the single? So this concept, the single big post starts with the single, obviously. And we're talking about a 5-step post, okay? And what you have to understand to start off with is that we count steps based off our break foot steps. Okay, so anything coming inside, if run properly, you're gonna plant off your outside foot. Okay, so a 5-step post, our inside foot's always up, will really be a 9-step post for most people because you're breaking inside. You're talking about your left foot for the X here. The left foot is hitting 5 times, okay? Because we want to eliminate step counts as much as we can. So basically, we're cutting everything in half. Okay, so if you're a yardage-based team, then this thing is usually, talking about the big post, is usually somewhere between 12 to 15 yards, depending on how long your receiver is, okay? Our climb route, which is consistent amongst all the deep post crosser games, okay? So everybody has to know what the deep post is. Everybody has to know what the climb route is. The climb route is a mesh route through the tackle box. So mesh route, right? We're talking about heels of the defensive line being shallow until you cross the opposite tackle, okay? And then you're climbing, chasing the hip of the corner, okay? So this thing's gonna be really vertical after you get through the tackle box. You're talking about being really, really shallow. So the safety to your side leaves you alone, and you start climbing, right? Climbing as you leave the tackle box. The back in all of these routes where we go over is his rule is show, alley, shoot. Show, alley, shoot. So he's showing a play fake. He's checking his alley, which we'll go over, checking the alley for any sort of pressure. If no pressure, then he ends up running a shoot. Okay. And this particular play, the single big post with the climb route, we're talking about a pressure pivot being ran. So you're talking about 2 break steps up. So 2 right foot steps for this Z receiver in this picture. 2 right foot steps, running a slant. So 2 in. And then if he doesn't get the ball, running back out. Okay. And you're talking about that route has been thrown, but to see it against Notre Dame once in my 6 years of this offense. So I know a lot of teams run a big dig on the backside with the Z, which is perfectly fine. We just hang on the post and the climb route so long that the Z on the dig doesn't really become a factor for us. So we really have a pressure outlet if we somehow get some sort of pressure on this play. So I'm gonna go straight to video. Real quick, before I get to video, the formation is not dependent. It's all about where the twins and where the single is, right? So now we have formation strength to the left for us. And then it really doesn't matter though, right? So you're talking about any sort of 2-back set. The tight end's always in protection. The singles always run the big post. And the weave, the climb route, okay, which into a climb route is coming from the next adjacent receiver. Go back. So it's going through video. We're in a squeeze formation, okay, but the routes still all remain. It all still starts from the single. So the single we have in a big post, which is a 5-step post. Once you get press, right? The steps are kind of off at this point. So that's why you have to have a certain yardage, because free release steps are off. So you're talking about like a somewhere between a 12 to 14 yard big post. That big post, we do not want to cross the hash because we don't know what the other safety is going to do, right? We don't want the other safety to cross it. So we would like the big post to stay a little skinny here because it's single high, right? Our team plays a lot of single high. We're not going to get the football. The climb route, we're talking about running a mesh to the opposite tackle and then climbing. Okay, so this is like a good philosophical point. We don't have a playbook. Okay, we don't give kids a playbook because we do not want them running the drawings. Okay, so we want them everything we install, they have to write themselves and write a general get grass point to it. Okay, so we're talking about we're driving inside. If I'm the slot, talking about the slot here, we're driving inside. I get cut off from the safety. I'm not going to continue to get driven down, okay? Because the ball is going to be driven over the top here. So I'm going to stem them. I'm going to stick them. I'm going to use near hand violence like he's doing here, and then run over the top, okay, and get ready to catch the football. As far as tight ends are protection. We'll talk about protection later when we have team reps. Okay, and the back is show alley shoot. So he's showing fake. He's checking the alley to the left, no pressure, then he's running a shoot. Okay, and finally, the outside guy to the twins is running a pressure pivot. So we're 2 in, 2 out. And like I said, that guy's gotten the ball once and it's against Notre Dame this year, which we'll see in a little bit. As far as a QB progression, right, we're like 98% in this offense progression based. So we're not 1 high, 2 high, 3 high, like Coach Jerry was talking about earlier, right? We're not any of that. We are straight progression. So we're 1, 2 to 3. So we're reading this high to low, reading this post to crosser to back, and then we had the scramble. Then we're throwing the ball to the pressure pivot. Quarterback wise, we're showing fake. We're showing fake. And we'll see Ole Miss clips later. We love to get back to 8.5 yards, okay, with a really solid front. Sam Howell, who will be a top pick in 365 days from now, right? He's 6 foot on a good day. So he gets out a little bit earlier than we like to. We would like to ride and point the ball, and I'll go over that a little bit later with Jordan Talmadge at Ole Miss about what we like this technique to look like. Okay, so you get a good shot of us throwing the climb route. 3-by-1 Y off, okay, doesn't matter. The formation doesn't matter. It depends on where the twins, the single are, okay? So we're starting the concept where the single is. The single has a 5-step big post. We have a climb route by the slot, and we have a pressure pivot by the outside guy to the twins. The coaching point, okay, so the angle, right? So this offense has a ton of flexibility. But we like the post to not cross the hash because this route, because we're running the slot so shallow, we don't have any sort of control over the other side safety. So in this picture, we don't have any control over this safety, right? Because we're running a shallow across and then we're climbing really vertically afterwards. So this guy could very easily go route the post if they have it schemed up correctly. So for that reason, we do not want the big post off 5 break steps to cross the hash. So this is a good picture of the route not crossing the hash because we don't have control of the backside safety, right? Because we're running the climb route so shallow. We have in the past run this climb route more traditionally, like the over understand over Mike route, but this glues him into that. Okay, we want to let the slot become free. So we're running shallow for 4. Good job going to opposite hash. We'd like to use some near hand violence right here. Okay, near hand violence to swipe him off and then keep climbing and chasing the hip of the corner. So overall, that's a pretty good route from a quarterback perspective. Okay, We're riding, we're pointing, we're dropping 3, trying to get to 8.5 yards. Okay, is the depth, right? And anytime, right, he smokes the corner, so we're good here. But anytime a route is one-on-one, a deep route is one-on-one, it's open. Okay, so this obviously is 2 yards ahead. I'm good, throw it. Okay, but even if that guy was hip to hip, one-on-one on a deep route is open for us. So if you were to watch North Carolina offense, you see probably more deep balls than almost anybody in the country, more RPOs and more deep balls. Okay, and that's because anytime you're one-on-one on a deep ball, you're open. From a game standpoint, the more common way we ran this year is this was a big run formation from us. So 2x2, Y off, FIB. And we would motion this guy and run any sort of 6-box run. Okay, so split zone, counter, power, any sort of 6-on-6 run, and run double glances from the outside guys. So as a constraint of that, we ran this. So we're talking about a jet motion, try to snap the ball when he's at the outside hip of the tight end, and run the same deep post crosser that we're talking about here, right? And so this is one of the more common ways of running it this season. So we're talking about the post, okay? We're talking about a anytime we're FIB to a single. Talking about splitting the difference. Okay, he's a little bit tighter here. We like to split the difference between the numbers, called college numbers, top of numbers, and hash. Run a 5-step, talking about that break foot. So we're talking about left foot steps. Okay, so talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as he's doing there. Don't try to cross the hash. Okay, they 2-bracket it, which is fine for the quarterback. That means anytime there's 2-on-1, we have a high-low on the alley player. We would like this crosser. Crosser's not bad, not bad. We like them to be a little bit higher, right? So Dave Aranda and one of those Minnesota clinics that's floating around, talking about buying a chicken sandwich for $2 when you could buy it for $5, right? Why would you buy it for $5 if you can buy it for $2? Same thing. Why would I catch this ball for 20 when I can catch this ball for 35 and run? Okay, now there's still a huge catch and run afterwards. Talking about protection wise, so we have 2 ways to protect this thing. We can 7-man full slide it, tight end never gets out either way. We can 7-man full slide it, or as we did after the Boston College game where we got beat on a full slide, we can big on big it, okay, and insert the tight end to 2. So we're talking about we mic'd 8. So Mike is the 8. So O-line's working to number 8. 84 now has 2 to anything to the sideline. Okay, because he's not getting out. And the running back is still, like we said earlier, show, fake, alley, nothing from the alley, shoot. So show, alley, shoot is the running back's progression. Quarterback wise, this is like a philosophical point. You don't want to hitch up to nothing, right? We'd rather stay at the landmark. Sam Howell is shorter, so he's 6 foot. We'd rather fake it and get back to 8 and stay on that platform. Okay, so we don't want to hitch up into trouble. We're now hitching up as a quarterback into trouble where that shouldn't be the case. So Coach Stewart just talked about like having a really flat, shallow pocket. We believe in the same thing. But as a quarterback, it's huge, right? You're a huge part of that, right? Don't hitch to trouble, which is what's happening here, okay? And we get it off, but this should not be an issue. And then you have to game plan, okay? If 2 to sideline doesn't come, right? The tight end doesn't have a route in this play. What do you want the tight end to do? For us, right, it's who is the issue. Against Wake Forest, the issue is number 9, okay, which will be a very high pick in the next 2 days. So find 2 and double team him. Against Miami, it's a different guy. Against Virginia, it's a different guy. That's game plan. That's what we get paid to do, is game plan that specific matchup. Okay, if your guy doesn't come, what do you end up doing? Because you're not getting out. Same play. Okay, we want a shallow wide pocket, the tight end. From the wide view, you can see how far he's setting. We do not want that. We want people at the line of scrimmage. We want the line, a wide, shallow pocket. We want them and the tight end and the running back all tied into it together. Right, but you see a really good climb route after the shallow, how vertical he gets. He's running a mesh. Okay, so he's running through the tackle box. As soon as he passes the tackle box, he starts climbing and finding the hip of the corner. Okay, because this is where this ball is covered. It's always covered from underneath. So be closer to the vertical component. Okay, be closer to this part, and then you can flatten it. The quarterback can always flatten you. If you're too flat, we cannot throw the ball top, right? That's really hard throw as a quarterback. If you're really vertical, we can always flatten you. So be closer to the over part of the route than the under part, if that makes sense. Right, so it's the same play later in the game. We hit it. Protection wise, right? So we ID'd 8. We'll see in a little bit the issues with IDs. We ID'd 8. So we're big on big. We're here. We're sliding to 8. We're sold. And then 88 is checking here to here with 8, Michael Carter, checking alley to shoot. Show fake. Right. And the 9, like I said earlier, was in the big issue in this game. So we're trying to get as many human beings as we can on 9. So we're showing alleying to shoot. Okay. And the quarterback is still top down, right? There's nothing. They can play cover 1, cover 4, cover 17. It doesn't matter. Quarterback is going post. Is the post one-on-one? Cool. Throw it. If it's not one-on-one, if they two bracket it from any, it could be the near safety, the far safety. It doesn't matter who is two bracketing it. If it's two bracketed, then I'm going climb route to shoot route, right? So it's really easy install for the quarterback. And that's everything we do. 98% of what we do is like that, right? So I know people are trying to install all these crazy defenses. That's great. Good for them. At the end of the day, we are all progression. Is it open? Cool. Throw it. If it's not open, if you not throw that route in the backyard, go to the next route and throw that one. If you not throw that in the backyard, go to the next route, right? So we're not all these like complicated offenses. If it's open, throw it type thing. This is us to throw the check down. Okay, same play. The next week is Wake Forest, a very similar defense. All right, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt now. Right, they did a really good job of covering all this stuff. Okay, they two bracket the post. They cut with a backside safety. They cut the crosser. Good on them. So we're just going to check it down and then live with our guy in open space. Okay, which I'll give a later click on this day of running with the football. It doesn't matter if you're a running back, tight end, receiver, running with the football, right, and how to make yards. This is why we don't have a playbook, because this route right here, talking about the climb route coming from the backside, gets really cut, right? So in the playbook, this thing look like this. Once again, we don't want players running drawings. So this thing gets cut off and take it over the top, right? And Sam Howell could possibly throw that ball, and he would not be wrong. Okay, but he feels pressure, right? Check it down. We'll live with it, and we're one-on-one in the open field. We'll take that with our slot receiver on their safety. Okay, because that's a really sound defense we're going against. I'm gonna roll through this thing a little bit quicker. right? For the defensive guys available, I'm going to show this. So if you were to study anything this year, Notre Dame did a fantastic job from this exact alignment is running like double A-gap pressure with the safety and the will linebacker. And from the same exact look, running Sam Fire, so Fire's one off the edge, running Sam Fire to Fire Zone. Okay, so I put this on there, and really this is not for anything else, but just for the defensive guys out there. Like if you are willing to study anything, look at this package that Notre Dame ran. Okay, so they're bringing from this same look, free safety Fire, okay, in the A gap, will linebacker in the back say A gap, right? A 3 Fire Zone. Same exact look. They're running Sam Fire. Okay, he becomes a 2-player, 2 Fire Zone. Okay, and this was a pain to work all week. Right, and this is, as I said earlier, the one time in the last 5 years we filmed the pressure pivot. Right, so a great install, right? We got 5 yards. Good job. Okay, but I put this more so on there to say, hey, defensive guys, all right, this is something to look at. Double post climb, real quick. Same thing. The big post is still exactly the same. So you're talking about 5-step post. Don't cross the hash, right? Run vertically space. The climb route is the exact same. The climb route from the X is the exact same that the slot was just running. And now you have a added route from the W or the slot. It doesn't matter which this formation strength is. The slot route is running a 3-step. So you're talking about 3 outside right steps in this picture. 3 outside right steps into grass. Okay, and he's really a kamikaze route, right? A kamikaze route, meaning he's bearing the quarter safety. He's bearing the 1 high safety because he's not getting the ball outside of true cloud, right? If it's true cloud, then you take out, from a quarterback's perspective, you take out the Z, you take out the outside guy, the twins, and you add in the inside guy. So in cover 2, you're going inside post to climb to shoot. If it's anything else, okay, anything else but cloud to that side, you're going outside post to climb to shoot. So it's the exact same thing for the quarterback. Same thing. Formation does not matter. Formation strength does not matter. We're talking about where the twins and where the single. So in the double post concept, you're talking about where the twins. Okay, so you're talking about the inside guy running a 3-step post, kamikaze route. Talking about the outside guy running the same exact big post he ran earlier with the single now running the climb route. The tight end still in protection. The running back is still the exact same thing. He's still show, alley, shoot. Show, fake, check alley for protection, run the shoot if alley does not come. Okay, and this is a more common way that we ran it this year. Okay, thank goodness we got Cal before Dante Barty was there, or else this obviously would not have worked. Okay, through some sort of quadruple call or D-line technique, whatever he's talking about. If we play Cal, Dante Barty, this would not have worked. But we are talking about starting from the twins up top down here. We're talking about the big post coming from the twins outside guy. We're talking about the 3-step post coming from the slot. We're talking about the climb route, which we ran a little bit miss coming from the single. Okay, the Ole Miss climb route was a little bit more traditional. We were, like just Mike stimming, trying to get in the box and then run the over route, which is what a lot of people do. Nowadays, we're much more shallow initially and then vertically once we pass the box. Okay, but the twins side of things does not change. We're a 3-step post. Okay, they do a good job of showing 1 high. Okay, they end up going to a bracket and a cloud down here. End up going to a 3-step post inside and a 5-step post outside. Okay, don't cross the hash. It's a really good look. I'm not crossing the hash. Right, because we cannot control the backside safety and all this stuff because we're running so shallow now. right? When you have DK Metcalf doing it, it makes you all look better. Protection standpoint, let's see it. Okay, we do back pedal drop now, which would be a clinic in all itself, which I love doing another day. We back pedal drop all of our quarterbacks here. Here we are ISO protecting it. Okay, so this is a really clean look to look at it. We are miking, I can't see his number there. We're miking him. Tight end is checking here all the way to the sideline. So we're to the sideline with the tight end. Running back is show, alley, nothing in the alley, then run the shoe route. Okay, shoe route is running through the heels of the slot and then checking once you pass the heels of the slot. Okay, and that defines what a shoe route is. Big post is open, throw it. Okay, one-on-one is open. Same play with 3-by-1. Okay, once again, the formation doesn't matter. It matters where the twins are and where the single are. Okay, so the twins, outside guys running a 5-step post, inside guys running a 3-step post. The single is now running the climb route. So you're talking about running a mesh. And we like the climb route. It's a good mesh. We like the thing to chase the hip of the corner, okay? So we're a little more drastic on it now than we were at Ole Miss a couple years ago. Once again, we get DK Metcalf, right? Things are a little bit easier. Inside leverage, corner, doesn't matter if you run by him. Now I'm going to go through this. I'll bust through this a little bit quicker. All right, running out of time. Same thing, you can see it, right? Talking about double post, climb route, nothing new. It's a really good example of what the climb route is supposed to look like. This is from Springwell this year, which we've emphasized it a little bit more. Okay, talking about being really shallow. As soon as you cross the tackle box, sticking your outside foot in the ground and then finding the hip of the corner, okay? He can even climb this more vertical. As you coach this thing, you'll realize they can always be closer. They can always be more vertical, right? They're always going to be more horizontal than you want them to be. 3 down front, okay? So we had 2 mics left, so the O-line is working here to here. The tight end is technically working here to here, okay? As soon as we have the on-the-ball defender, we're going to outset it, and the running back now knows he has protection inside to out, okay? So his alley starts inside now because we have the on-the-ball defender. Because worst case scenario, if you attach the tight end, if you attach the tight end down, you do not want this match. Coach Stewart said, you do not want this matchup, right? You want a really shallow pocket, okay? You want this thing to hit the line of scrimmage. You want him, if they were to bring 2 off the edge, to hit at the line of scrimmage. So as soon as we get odd front, we're talking about taking the in-man line of scrimmage. Okay, tight end does a good job here. You can even say you want more pocket expansion, wider, more shallow. This is from spring of right now. So you can tell our O-line is a little bit more solid. Quarterback's doing a good job of getting back to his depth. Okay, you're talking about 8.5, 9 yards, which scares O-line guys, but I always want the quarterback deeper. I want the O-line shallower. The more space I can get between the quarterback and the O-line, the better I'll be. Generally is how I feel about it. Okay, one-on-one's open. Buzz through this thing. From a defensive standpoint, okay, if you want to hurt full slide, as we did earlier in the season, and you don't want to bring extra pressure, just twist, just ET twist, right? Like this is not revolutionary. Just ET twist of putting a defensive tackle, right? Because we're full sliders at this point in the season. All right, we have 2 different protections. But this is a full slide 7-man, right? Gap protection. A ET twist to the tight end. Okay, will get you a tackle on a tight end matchup, which is not offensively what we want. Okay, QB does a good job of bursting. Okay, so a reset is from a UNC quarterback teaching. A reset is staying inside the pocket, staying in your base. A burst anytime you have to run. Okay, this is a really good burst of getting outside the pocket, right, and showing the climb route, right? I just want to show, right, for both sides, right, something we can both learn from offensive and defensively, what this looks like. This is a good call. All right, this is from Ole Miss. This is a better call late in the drive, right? Play 5, 6, 7, 8 if the defensive line has not subbed, because you can see there's hardly any pressure, right? Because at the end of the day, this concept does take a time to get down the field, right? So we need protection, right? So this is a really good tempo play. This is a really good 5th, 6th, 7th play of the drive, because the D line is not rushing as hard up the field, right? So this is the opposite of screens. You do not want to call screens this late in the drive because they're not rushing. You do want to call deep play actions because they are not rushing, right? So it's all about pairing their correct calls together. This is before we change it to a really vertical after the box climb route, right? So this is more of a traditional, AJ Brown running a traditional crosshair. Same thing later in the game, right? I'll buzz through this, right, for sake of time. See what I can play. Same play. At the end of the day, right? So this is an issue. Once again, talking to defensive guys out there, the add-ons late. So the daylight rushes and all that stuff, whatever you fancy words you want to call it. This is an issue that the tackle, so 74, the right tackle here, has to be aware of. So 73 has to bang back. Eventually on would be is the shade to start with. He's to bang back on the shade. 74 is to bang back on the on 21, right? Chad Surratt would be a pretty high pick. But add-ons, okay, add-ons are an issue to this football play. Last clip I'll show of this real quick is us throwing the back. Really good look at the climb route down here. Talking about running a mesh through the tackle box and then chasing the ass to the corner. Okay, really vertical. That's what we want. The quarterback feels a little bit of pressure, so he dumps it to the back, right? And we get what it is, 11 yards. First down. Good job, defense, right? So you covered it all, covered all the deep routes. Let's just do the shallow and live with it. Good look at the 5-step post. We have a post safety. We've got a kamikaze route coming from the slot, so a 3-step post, trying to grab the near safety. Tight end is kick setting too much. We don't want that. Okay, we want to meet guys in the window. All right, we want a shallow, wide pocket, something we've emphasized a lot this spring. We have a really good quarterback. Let's separate the quarterback from the offensive line. Let's use that to our advantage. So the last thing I'll leave you with is the same teaching as the double post, sort of about a 3-step. Okay, when I say 3-step, we're talking about 3 outside steps because we're breaking inside. A 3-step post and a 5-step big post on the backside of stick. So 2 big, 1 small, vertical, and then either the running back from the same side running a shoot or the running back in motion, okay, running a fly route. And the quarterback is straight progression running, as we always do. We're going 1, meaning stick in, stick out. So it could be stick inside to the flat, to near post, okay, to deep post. Right, so this is the same double post teaching we just taught, and now we're using it in a different context. So now we're using that exact same teaching we just taught to run stick off of, which is a really good play if they're a too high team that's really pushing to the stick routes. Okay, so they're really pushing, so they're vacating a middle space, right, for the 3-step post and the 5-step post. So this is us progressing right through it. So we're stick in, stick out. They cover the stick from inside. Okay, so they cover the stick from in here. So the quarterback then scans that exact way. So he's 1 to 2 to 3. Okay, if the stick was covered from the outside, then you're 1 to 2, and let's get our running back right on a perimeter player. If we taught that guy correctly, we can go make 8, 9, 10 yards, right? So we talk about techniques of carrying the football, right? So the running back could be set here or motion, doesn't matter. Where stick to shoot to 3-step post to 5-step post. Okay, so we're just scanning right through it. So we don't care cover 1, cover 3, cover 4, cover 6, whatever the hell you want to call. It doesn't matter. We're straight progression football, right? And we're throwing to the open guy. If you throw in your backyard, throw it now. Same thing here. So we go FIB, if you will, right? So we're left middle. Same play. Could he have banged that ball on the outside shoulder? Possibly, right? So you're talking about like working really hard for 4 yards. Or you could scan through this thing and go inside post to outside post. Last rep of that. So same thing. This is going to our spring game last week. We would love, right? So we would love this thing to, they understand they can catch the ball here, right? So they're not, this is understanding play. This is not the double post concept we were just talking about, where it's like a deep ball with a crosser. Okay, these guys can get, this is not a kamikaze route. This is more so of a 3-step post. You can get the football if all human beings push that and you have hash to win, right? So we want those guys to win. So we like, in a perfect world, for that route of 3 steps, 3 outside steps, we're breaking this way, we're breaking to the left. So if you're a good receiver coach, you're talking about breaking off your outside foot, your right foot. So 3 right foots, right, sticking the ground and breaking this way. Okay, and the ball should be going there, right? He runs it a little too high. So the QB does not feel good about that. So he throws the ball to the outside post. Right, but this is another application. If systematically you teach the routes, okay, then you can always add plays easier, if that makes sense, right? So if this guy knows what a 3-step post means, if this guy knows what a 5-step post means, then you can always change, right, what these guys are doing. And these guys are always doing the same thing, which is the ultimate goal. Right, and that's the last play I'll show, because I'd love to give away to the one they call Dante Barti.